Alex! Why are my clothes different? Hello, Josh. Asajj, you are alive. I can now finally have my revenge. Revenge for what? What happened before? Or for me blowing you to smithereens? Shut up! So what are you gonna do? I'm going to erase myself from your memory, and you will go back and review Resident Evil 5. Ha! I'd like to see you try. What the? Hey guys, TwoTrueGamer back for another review. This time, we're taking a look at Resident Evil 5. The original Resident Evil, known in Japan as Biohazard, was released in 1996 and is known as the game that created the survival horror genre. It also created, well, this.
That was too close. You were almost a Jill sandwich.
There were games in a similar format before, like Alone in the Dark, that were given a similar label, but Resident Evil is the most well-known. The game's story is that Las Plagas, the parasite from the previous game, has fallen into the hands of terrorists, and the main character, Chris Redfield,
We got to the root of the problem.
who was in the original game and Resident Evil Code Veronica, is sent to Africa to apprehend a black market dealer named Richard Irving. When he arrives, he meets his partner, Sheva Alomar, and implies the well-known Master of Unlocking, Jill Valentine, also in the original game, has died in between games. Since I love Resident Evil, I went into this game completely blind, so as you could imagine, I was shocked when I learned this news. Starting the game, you walk through the village as you learn your mission objective from your contact, who also supplies you with your first weapons. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I only had two problems with the game. The first is, of course, the controls. For some reason, Capcom is just dead set on making the controls in Resident Evil hard to use. Playing as Chris is a little clunky. To move, you use the left control stick. To turn, you have to move the left control stick to the left or right. If you push it diagonally, you turn while running, but this makes it hard to turn quickly when in a dangerous situation. It is possible to change the control layout, but I usually end up with the same problem anyway. The next problem I have is with the game itself. Capcom claimed this game was going to return Resident Evil to its survival horror roots, after the action-packed, barely horror game that was Resident Evil 4. However, I found this game even less scary. First of all, most of the levels take place in well-lit rooms or broad daylight. Second, there's almost nothing in this game that could be considered horror. Unless you count gore and the gruesome deaths, horror, this game doesn't seem all that scary. It's tense, I'd give it that, and it makes you feel like you're always in harm's way. Now that I think about it, there is one last problem with the game. The partner AI. Sheva Alomar is probably the most moronic AI in any game that I've ever played. First of all, she only uses her pistol, the weakest gun in the game, no matter what. While this isn't a problem with standard enemies, since she is a pretty good shot with it, it makes fighting bosses mostly a one-man affair. If you remove her pistol from her inventory, she will use the next weakest weapon. However, she is able to defend herself adequately, at least until you come to her aid. However, when you play as Sheva after beating the game once, the Chris AI is much, much smarter. Well guys, that's pretty much it. See you next time for my next review.